Autonomy exists and is a kind of illusion, but something being an illusion doesn't make your experience of that illusion unreal. The term illusion is being used because when you examine what autonomy is closely, you will find it is not what it seems at all. The notion of others is obviously an observable truth. What is also an observable truth is the fact that others are, in all actuality, different expressions of a bigger version of you. One reason this truth can seem unobserved is because most people aren't aware of their body's complete fusion with its environment. Most people identify themselves as just a body, and that they are somehow disconnected from everyone else who isn't them. This is a logical perspective to have because the human experience is all about focus. The experience of being an individuated person is a result of the bigger aspect of your consciousness limiting itself through dimensional filters and focusing on that specific, limited experience. Relative to the human experience, that dimensional filtering platform, upon which your consciousness can feel like a single human, is an expression of dimensional trichotomies. This is explained more thoroughly in another video. This dimensional filtering can actually be manipulated and played with through altered brain states. One example is technologically induced out-of-body experiences. In regard to the experience of autonomy, what is being called autonomy is the experiential limitation of lacking the capacity to know what others will choose to do. This is compounded with your overall fixed experience of time, wherein you can't know exactly what every particle in the universe will do in the next moment. With this lack of capacity to know everything about everything, comes with it the perfectly natural illusion of, that is something autonomous from me because I can't feel it, I can't control it, and I can't understand how it relates to what I can control and feel. That sums up the apparent lack of connection from one thing to the next. People cannot see themselves in what they cannot manipulate and feel, so they assume there is a disconnection. The truth is that there is no disconnection, and that the very notion of disconnection is a non sequitur observation. There can't be a disconnection because the space in which the alleged disconnection existed would be a form of connector. In the context of daily speech, obviously saying something is disconnected is logical because human language is a form of descriptive poetry. But in a physical mechanical sense, the notion of you being disconnected from another person is as silly as saying one frequency of color is disconnected from another frequency of color on the visible light spectrum. You know that although red is a different color from yellow, they're simply autonomous expressions of one light source. Being a wildly different expression of matter and energy doesn't negate the fact that it's still the same substance. The quality of different color frequency can be compared to matter, energy, and forces as a magnitude higher in complexity, involving qualities such as space-time locational variables and even mental emotional states. Even in the wildly popular science theory of the Big Bang, it is acknowledged that there was at one time a kind of singularity, and from that one thing birthed all the various expressions in the universe. We are literally all the same stuff. This idea of all being connected is demonstrated physiologically by you breathing the same body of air as everyone else on the planet. People like to singularize things based upon patterned amalgams of atoms and energy, but forget that this act of designating is an arbitrary thing. The air in your lungs is not separate to the rest of your body, which is not separate to the air of the world, which is not separate to the water, and the energy, and the gravity, and the spaces and times they are symbolic expressions of. Now, with all that said, it's time to get down to the crux of the issue, specifically how autonomy works. Because everything is literally one, there is only one moment of time that constantly changes in this one immediate volume of existence, which allows for the experience of multiple moments. Autonomy is shattered when you see that everything you do as an individual is a part of the universe's overall movement as time. If you do an action within a set amount of time, let's say you raise your hand for a minute. Within that 1 minute, the rest of the world did not stand still. All sorts of things happened all over the universe within that 1 minute, yet you're probably only aware of what you see in front of your eyes, which is obviously an extremely limited, fixed, focused purview of the entirety of the cosmos. Your body's environment moves with your body as one universe changing in time. The autonomy effect is the lack of capacity to understand how and why the rest of your reality, including all the people, plants, and planets, and literally everything, is doing what it is doing. Leaving morality and social judgments aside, from a purely mechanistic perspective, the autonomy experience is your experience of not identifying your choices as the choices of the universe. You are the universe.